Hello everyone, this is Mr. Kissinger with the Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, New York. This is grade 5, module 2, lesson 24. We're going to be dividing decimal dividends by multiples of 10, reasoning about the placement of the decimal point and making connections to a written method. So we're going to be moving our division onto numbers with decimals now. And we're going to do this a number of different ways. So this says show division in the right-hand column in 2 steps. The first 2 have been done for you. So I have this side of it here is the left column, and then we have the right column here. We're going to do this in 2 different ways. As you can see, our divisors here are larger numbers. They're all multiples of 10, whereas in the left column, they tend to be smaller numbers. So we'll start on letter C here, and it says 2 4/10 divided by 4. The first way we can do that is we can split that up into, we have 2 ones, and then we have 4/10. And I could divide each one of those by 4. I could do, 2 divided by 4. 2/4 I know is 1/2. So 2 divided by 4 equals 0.5 or 1/2, 5/10. And then 4/10 divided by 4 is 1/10. And then if I add those 2 together, I would get 6/10. So that would be 6/10. The other way I can look at it is I can look at this instead of 2 4/10. I can just look at it as 24/10. So if I have 24/10 divided by 6, well, 24 divided by 6 is 4. Now we get 4/10. Or divided by 4, I'm sorry, other way around. Switch those 2. 24/10 divided by 4 is 6/10, and 6/10, another way of writing that in standard form is just like we did up here. Now, when we do this in 2 parts, so now we have 2 4/10 divided by 40. I'm really going to look at this as 2 4/10 divided by 4 times 10. Or I can look at it as 2 4/10 divided by 4 divided by 10. So I'm going to do them one at a time. So if I do 2 4/10 divided by 4, well, we know that that is 6/10. And then 6/10 divided by 10, well, as we learned in a previous lesson, when we divide by 10, we can move all of the numbers, all of our digits are going to move over one place value to the right, which is going to make it look like the decimal point is moving to the left. So we can just move that one over to the left, and we're going to get 6/100ths. So 2 4/10 divided by 40 is 6/100ths. So see, I split that into 2 separate steps rather than trying to do it all at once. Now I can do the same thing with 14 7/10. 14 7/10. Well, if I divide 14 by 7, I get 2. And if I divide by 7/10 by 7, I'll get 1/10. 2 plus 1/10 is 2 plus 1/10 is 2 1/10. Again, I could look at that as 147/10 divided by 7, and 147 divided by 7 would be 21. But since it's tenths, I would have to make sure I might put my decimal point in the right place, and I would get 21 tenths, or 2 and 1/10. Because 20 tenths would be 2, and then my leftover tenth would be my 1/10. Now, if I wanted to divide 14.7 or 14 7/10 by 70, I could do 14 7/10 divided by 10 divided by 7. So now I can divide by 10, and I can do that in either order. I could do divided by 7 first, and I know that that would be 2 and 1/10, and then I could divide that by 10, and I could get 21 hundredths. But I'm going to do it the other way, just to show you this way as well. I could do 14 7/10 divided by 10, which would give me 1 and 47 hundredths. Again, remember that decimal point is going to move one place to the left over here. 1 and 47 hundredths divided by 7, and that will be the same as saying 147 hundredths divided by 7. And if I don't know it offhand, I can do 147 hundredths divided by 7. Well, 7 doesn't go into 1, but it'll go into 14. We get 2. Subtract our 14. Bring down our 7. 7 goes into 7 one time. Subtract 7, and we get 0. So we have 21, but 21 is not our answer because it's really 27 hundredths, because we were dividing 147 hundredths, not 147. 21 hundredths would look like that. Let's skip down. We'll do one more of these. We'll do 45 hundredths divided by 9 right here. I could do 45 hundredths divided by 9. Well, 45 divided by 9 would be 5, but it's 5 hundredths, so to put a 0 there. But what if I wanted to do 45 hundredths divided by 90? Well, I can do 45 hundredths divided by 9 first, and I know that that equals 5 hundredths. And then I will do 5 hundredths divided by 10. And again, when we divide by 10, we're going to move that decimal place one space over to the left. In this case, because our all of our numbers are after the decimal point, when we move it to the left, we have to put a 0 in, because every place value after the decimal point has to have a 0. And we're going to end up with 5 thousandths now instead of 5 hundredths. We divided by 10. 5 hundredths divided by 10 is 5 thousandths. All right. All right, let's do a word problem. It says 20 polar bears live at the zoo. In 4 weeks, they eat 9,732 and 8/10 pounds of food altogether. Assuming each bear is fed the same amount of food, how much food is used to feed one bear for a week? Round your answer to the nearest pound. So we got a lot going on here. Let's try to unpack all this. We have 20 polar bears. In 4 weeks, they eat 9,732.8 pounds. Assuming each bear is fed the same amount of food, how much food is used to feed one bear for a week? And then we want to round to the nearest pound. So we're looking for how much food is used to feed one bear for a week, and we have how much they ate in 4 weeks. So first we need to find out how much all the bears ate together in 4 weeks. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to divide this 9,732.8. What I'm going to do is to make that easier to divide. I'm not going to do 0.8. I'm going to do 9,700, or I'm going to change it to 97,328 tenths of a pound. We just want to make sure we remember we're dealing in tenths, because then we can convert it afterward. And I'm going to divide by 4. So 4 goes into 9, 2 times, subtract 8, bring down my 7. 4 goes into 17, 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. And then I need to subtract. I bring down my 3. 4 goes into 13 3 times. That would be 12. Subtract. Get 12. 4 goes into 12 3 times. That's 12 exactly. And then we bring down our 8. 4 goes into 8 2 times. And that'll give us 0. So we have 24,332 tenths of a pound. I'm going to move my decimal point back over here to get back into standard form. And I know now that I have 2,433.2 pounds, and that's what the bears ate in 1 week. Now there's 20 polar bears, so I need to take 2,433.2, but I'm gonna keep it in tenths now because I'm gonna need to divide again. So I'm gonna keep that number in tenths of a pound, and I'm gonna divide by 20. So that way I can figure out how much each bear eats in 1 week. So 20, I can't split 2 into 20 parts, but I can split 24 into 20 parts. It will go in there 1 time. Subtract, I get 4, I bring down my 3. 20 goes into 43. Well, 2 times 20 is 40. And then I bring down, I'm going to get 3, I bring down my other 3. 20 goes into 33 1 time. I subtract 20, I get 13. I bring down my 2. 20 goes into 132. I got to think about that for a second. I have, 20 times 5 would be 100. 20 times 6 would be 120. If I need to, I could write my factors of 20 here. Skip count by 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. And 140 is greater than 132, so I know I can only go to 120. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 20. When I subtract, I'm going to get 12. And I could bring down another 0 if I wanted to. I could turn this to hundredths. But we're pretty close anyway. We're gonna round to the nearest pound. So I could put a remainder here. I'll put a remainder 12. But if I have 121 and 6/10 of a pound, I need to round to the nearest pound. Well, 6 is going to round up, and it's going to give me 122. Remember, this is tenths. So it's not 1,216. It's 121 and 6 tenths, which will round to 122 pounds. And that's how much each bear eats in 1 week, is 122 pounds of food. So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.